Okay, so keep in mind that the p-value is just the probability of getting that information, which is same as the area. So even though we're calling it something new, it's still just the area under the curve. So our p-value of 0.1251, when we compare that to the alpha, it is definitely greater than that 0.05, which tells us that we should fail to reject the null hypothesis and that we do not have convincing evidence for the alternative. So we have to put that in the context. So we definitely said we fail to reject the null, and then not convincing evidence that the shipment contains more than 8% of blemishes. Keep in mind, that's what the alternative hypothesis said, that there were more than 8% with blemishes. So as a result, since I did not have convincing evidence for the alternative, I cannot say that I accept or conclude that the null is true, but what happens is I fail to reject it, and with that, we go ahead and use the potatoes. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, but we did not have convincing evidence to reject the null, so we go ahead and we use those potatoes. Okay, keep in mind on the calculator that you can do the one proportion z-test, so you should be able to find that. I'm trying to remember which one it was. I know it was A, so let me look at the calculator here. It was in, let's see, it was in stat tests, and then A for the one proportion z interval. And then when we go ahead and type in that information, we can put in our, oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. That was for the z interval, which we are going to be getting to. So, never mind on that. We'll get back to that. We will still need that information, though. Alright, so, the one proportion z-test should be stat test, and then number 5, one proportion z-test. There it is. So you can put in 0.08. Our x from our sample was 47 out of the 500 for the n. And then for the alternative hypothesis, we were stating that it was greater than the null. So that's the third one. And then we go ahead and tell it to calculate. So it should look something like that. And then if you take a look at the results there, as I'm trying to do this, so the z-score is 1.15, and then we see that p, that 0.1243. So that's the same exact thing we got from the formula had we actually done those calculations. Here's where you can do it in the calculator. Okay, for the two-sided test, I am now on page 562, looking at the non-smokers. So, Taeyeon went ahead and surveyed students in his school, his large high school. They didn't give us an exact number, but he surveyed 150 students, and 90 of them stated that they had never smoked. So, he decided that he wanted to perform the significance test, with the null hypothesis being at 50% and the alternative that it simply is not 50%. So this is going to be a two-tailed test. And with that two tails, we again in the state have to have the alpha of that 0.05. We are choosing to use that. I think it's done.